Hey there, Gavin here from ultimatereloader.com. In this video, we're going to take a look at an essential piece of equipment for the shooter and reloader. That's the chronograph. Without a chronograph, you can't get an accurate picture of the performance of your loads and your ammunition, and you also can't fine-tune them for a specific firearm in question. Now, I recently had need to upgrade chronographs, and I had three key requirements in mind. The first was easy setup. The second was reliable, consistent performance in a wide variety of lighting conditions. And the third was an honest-to-goodness PC interface, so I could connect the chronograph to my computer and exchange data. And what I settled on was the Competitive Edge Dynamics M2. In this video, we will see the setup procedure, and we'll do some shooting with pistol and with rifle. In future videos, we're going to take a look at some of the add-ons and reloading scenarios that we can only do with a chronograph and with the CED M2. Let's get started. Before we get started setting up, let's take a look at the components. First, we've got the sunscreens, which are going to diffuse the light over the sensors. We've got the support arms for the sunscreens. We've got the mounting bar. This is sort of the platform for the chronograph system. We've got the main unit, which is kind of the brain in the display. And then we've got two sensors that can detect when the shadow of the bullet flying over them passes by. So the first thing we're going to do is take the base. We've got this receiver here, this tapped hole, 1/4 threads. You can use any off-the-shelf bolt if you're making your own mount, or any standard tripod should have a 1/4 stud on it. So we're just going to hand tighten that down. On this tripod, I've got a lock nut, so I'm going to tighten that down. Next, we can put the sensors on. Each of the sensors has a socket and a knob that's used to quickly attach the sensor to the bar. So we just slide it all the way in, make sure it's in flush with the end of the bar. Tighten the knob, and that's it. And the rear sensor is going to go on in the same way. Just slide it on, tighten the knob, and we're ready to roll. To assemble each sunscreen, we just take one of these support arms, click it up through the slots, rotate it around, do the same on the other side, and then slide them into the slots on the sensor itself. Make sure that's seated. That's it. And we're going to do the same for the front sensor. We just grab a couple support arms, click them in, and then slide them into the slots on the sensor. So I've set up the chronograph unit between the target I'll be shooting and where I'm going to be shooting from. I've got a good 6 feet between where the muzzle is going to be and the start sensor. Start sensor is going to be the one that the bullet hits first. Stop sensor is on the front, and that's going to be one that stops the measurement. The next thing is to take the cords that I've laid out and to go over to the area where I've got the main unit set up to plug the cables in. So to keep track of things, I've put a shooting spot on the start cable. The other one obviously is the stop cable. So rotating this unit around to the back, we've got the jack for the start sensor. Plug that into with the start cable, and we plug the stop cable into the jack labeled stop. Now we're ready to shoot. And to demonstrate the capabilities of the chronograph, today we're going to be shooting a Smith & Wesson Model 629 in .44 Magnum, but we're going to be shooting .44 special loads as well to show the difference there. We've got a Taurus PT 1911 in .45 ACP and a Rainier Arms AR-15 in 5.56. So before we get started, we're just going to need to power up the unit here and we'll get going. All right, so here we go with .44 special. Let's see how we do with Full House 44 Magnum. So let's do some 45 ACP here. Let's up the velocity a little bit with some 5.56. So here's a string of 10 shots, and with just a couple button presses we can get some very helpful information. We can see the average of the string. We can also review individual shots, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this unit, standalone, makes it very easy to keep track of the performance of your ammunition and your shooting. In future videos, we're going to take a look at some of the extended functionality that this unit is capable of, including the PC interface. So that gives you a quick overview of the CED M2 chronograph. Setup, shooting, basic functionality. For the full story, go to ultimatereloader.com and be sure to stay tuned because we're going to have more videos with more advanced functionality. Thanks.